Okay, Doug Simpson says, do you think 227 grams of frozen spinach plus 227 grams of frozen kale plus 100 grams of cooked broccoli per day is too much? So I'm going to assume that we're measuring this before cooking for the frozen spinach and the frozen kale, and after cooking for the cooked broccoli. In that case, and Doug confirms yes. So in that case, you're basically getting so I would think of these as a few, I'd think of them as 2 or 3 servings of cruciferous vegetables. And cruciferous vegetables have an issue with potential goitrogens. At serving sizes like this, the only issue with cruciferous vegetables is that they increase your iodine requirement. In theory, if you are juicing cruciferous vegetables to have like 10 servings a day, in theory, you might get to the point where you cannot overcome the goitrogenic effect with iodine. That is based entirely on animal experiments that were done a long time ago, and we have no human data on where you cross that threshold. But in this case, I think 2 or 3 servings of cruciferous vegetables basically just means you need to pay a little bit more attention to your iodine status. In particular, you want to make sure that you're eating some seafood. If you're eating some seaweed in your diet, you're getting plenty of iodine in most cases. And if you're not sure if you're getting enough iodine, then I would say 200 to 400 micrograms of iodine from a kelp powder-based supplement would be fine. Also, as a seasoning, you can get Maine Coast sea seasonings where you can just sprinkle seaweed onto your dishes as a flavor. It's like a salt shaker, so it's really easy to use. And using that, if you don't mind the taste, is a great way to get iodine. And so I think that's really only the main concern there. The spinach is not a cruciferous vegetable, so it's not really contributing to this problem. It is high in oxalates, and so it has its own problem. As long as you're getting calcium with the oxalate, for most people, there are exceptions to this, but if you don't personally have an oxalate issue, meaning a high risk of kidney stones driven by high oxalate levels in your urine, or potentially behavioral issues in children, some people are tying to oxalates, but if you don't have a specific issue with that, then I think that really the only issue with oxalate is you want to make sure that you're consuming calcium in the meal that you're getting it in. So the spinach has calcium, but it's only about 5% bioavailable. So you should basically discount the calcium in the spinach. The kale and the broccoli have bioavailable calcium. If you're mixing them together, that's probably a great way to do that. But you might not be hitting 300 milligrams of calcium in a meal. And I think if you have a lot of oxalate in a meal, you probably really want to make sure you hit 300 grams of calcium in that meal.